CapCut is the best video editor for beginners. Over 200 million people are using CapCut for creating amazing content. In this video I will show you step by step how easy it is to create quality content for your socials, YouTube channel or for your brand. Let's dive straight into the software. You downloaded the CapCut application from the website, and this is the first window you can see if you open CapCut. Click on Create Project and you can see 4 different windows. We want to focus now on the top left window with the Import section. Click on the blue Import button and select your media files from a folder of your computer. Click on Open and the media files are imported to your project. On the top you can see now your whole media pool, including music files or sound effect files. To import the first clip to the timeline, which is down here, just drag one clip to the main timeline. This is the preview in CapCut. So if you play this play button, you can see the video is playing. If you press the spacebar, you can start and stop this player as well. Down here in this player, you can select your video ratio. Right now we have 16:9 because we want to create a long form travel content video, but you can just choose anything you want. If you want to create short form content for YouTube or for TikTok, you can click on 9:16, for example. As you can see, the clip is now in the 9:16. Problem here is the clip is just filling out 1/3 of the space. So what you can do is go on the right side and click on Basic Video and select Scale. Now you can see you can zoom in or zoom out the whole clip. Now we have the problem, the person is not in the center of the clip, which we can change by drag on the clip and move the whole footage to the right. Another option is to go to Uniform Scale and click on Position. Right here you can just increase or decrease the X position or just type in, for example, 500. I usually use the drag and drop feature, which is way faster. Down here you can also rotate your clip and use the blending feature, which is important if you have 2 clips which should blend in each other. Down here you have some pro features which are probably not important for you right now. Down here, canvas, which is quite important in my opinion, because when you have a video which you can just scale to this size, then you have 2 black bars on the top and on the bottom. So click on the file and go down to canvas, and here you can just choose anything you want. Most of the time I am using blur to get a blurry background. So click on one blur effect, and as you can see, you have blurry background instead of 2 black bars. You can also select the speed of the video clip, add an animation and adjust the color of your clip up here. Furthermore, a new feature is to add some AI effects. So we still want to create a video which is 16:9. So we did all those changes right now. What we can do to undo those changes is to click on the arrow on the left side. Click here, and as you can see, CapCut goes back all the steps. You can also go forward if you clicked one time too much. Click on Reset, and as you can see, it resets. We want to focus on this ratio in the whole video. So as you can see, the video in the player is right on the edge. Click here to change the scale of the clip. If you want to do the same for your video timeline, you can go up here to change the clip zoom. Another option is to press Ctrl and mouse wheel up or down to change the zoom. Up here you have the option to change your video project name. So I want to change this name to travel clip, press enter, and now the video title is changed. On the top left, you can see different options as well. So here you have the audio section for sound effects and even soundtracks. Most of them are pro features. Text effects, stickers to implement in your video. The effects, transitions, captions, also with auto captions, and some filter presets and adjustments. Before we are focusing on our first cut in CapCut, let's talk about the shortcuts tab. Right here on the top you can customize any shortcut, which helps a lot to be way faster while editing. At the end of this video I will give you my exact shortcuts to edit faster in CapCut. Now to trim your first video file in CapCut you have different options. So the first option is to select your endpoint or your starting point and click on the right outline. Just move the outline to your position, for example to 7 seconds, and select your starting point as well. Now you saw that the media automatically snaps back to the beginning. If you have two media files and want them to stay like this, but on the main timeline, it's not possible right now. So what you can do is to click on turn off main track magnet. Click on it and now you can just move a second clip which does not snap anymore. Now we want to delete this clip. Okay, the second option to trim a clip is by pressing the split button right here. Click on it and now you have two different clips in the timeline. Now you can move this clip or delete one section of the clip. Another option is to go right here on the delete left or delete right buttons and now click on delete right and the clip is trimmed as well. The third option is to go to your cursor on the left and select another tool. So click on the split tool. As you can see, you can cut out as many points as you want. To delete one section, just click on the clip and press delete. So we want to undo those cuts and now we want to import a second clip. So now we have our second clip, the plane starting. First the person in the airport and now the plane starting to fly. Now we can trim this clip again, and what we want to do now is to zoom this clip in a little bit, so like this, and add a zoom out effect by using some keyframes. So we have this position of the clip and now we want to use some keyframes to zoom the clip out again, to have the plane in the whole time in the picture. As you can see, the picture zooms out as we wanted. So now you already know what keyframes are. So we want to use them again to blend two pictures. Select your second clip and drag the clip on top of the first one. As you can see, you create a new timeline immediately and the second clip is in the foreground now. So every time you drag a new clip on top of another one, you create a new timeline and the clip is in the foreground. So as you can see here, the plane is in the foreground and here is the person in the foreground again, because this clip is on a higher timeline than this one. Delete the unwanted clips and now we have those two clips. Select your opacity of the second clip, for example to 25, and select a blending mode, for example the multiply or blending in two different pictures. Now as you can see, the plane is already visible, but the opacity is lowered for the whole clip. So we want to set a keyframe on the starting point of the clip and let the keyframe end immediately after the person is out of picture. So on this point we want to have the opacity on 100% again. Now you see the pictures blend in each other perfectly, and now we want to make them to one clip to add some effects and transitions. Select both clips and right click. Now we want to create a compound clip. As you can see, those two clips are now combined with all the features added already. Now we want to add our third clip, which is the landing. Select your trimming tool, click here and click razor and delete the unwanted parts. Drag the file to the second file, and now we want to increase the speed of the whole clip of the landing. As you can see, the clip is now like 11 seconds long and we want to reduce it to 5 seconds, for example. There are two options in CapCut again. So first you can increase on the speed tab the value, or another option is to go to speed, and now you see on your timeline on the clip you have those two marks on the right top and left top. As you can see, you can just drag the clip to the speed you want and the time you want the clip playing. Now we have around 5 seconds on this clip and we want to add a nice transition. We did a transition before manually, but now we want to use a transition preset of CapCut. As you can see, we have different options here. Many of them are pro features, which are not useful for us right now. Drag your transition you want to use and drop it on both clips. By selecting this, you can increase or decrease the duration of this transition. You can also do this by choosing the slider. Now we have this page transition. If you're happy, just let it like it is, or select another one, just drag it on top of the old transition. So I'm happy for the moment, for demonstration, and now we want to add a video effect on this plane landing. So here you can see different effects. The landing is a bit rough, so we want to use this shake effect, and here on the right you can see different slider with strength and speed decrease, and now you can see the effect is added. The next step for us is now to add some text to our project. So go on the text section on the top left and go to add text. As you can see, you just have a white text. Right now you can also go to text templates and choose a text from there. Just for demonstration now, you can drag it into your timeline and write down your text right here. Now, as you can see, the size is a little bit too large. Just go to font size and decrease this one and drag the text to the position you want. Now we still want to see the plane in the background, so go down to opacity and slide it like this. And now you added already your text. What you can do with your text as well is to add some effects. Just go to the templates or to the effects. On the templates you have some crazy templates as well, with also some animations already integrated. So we want to add manually the text with animation. Click on default text, select your text, drag it onto the position you want and write down the text. Again, click on animation. Now we want to have the text fade in slowly. As you can see, the text now has an in animation and we want to have an out animation as well. For example, this one. And as on the videos, you can also use your keyframes by changing the color of the text or increasing, decreasing the size, or do whatever you want with the text. So far this video is totally silent, so our next step is to add some music, sound effects and a short voiceover. So I imported some sound effects already in the beginning. What we want to do now is we just take our effect or our music So this is my music file, and drag it under our main timeline. I will just start playing. Okay, as you hear, the volume is way too high on this music right now. You can see this by the clipping orange. We want to decrease the volume by going up right on volume and decrease it to a level for background music. A little bit lower. Okay, so now we have our background music and we want to add some sound effects. Airport announcement for the airport scene. Decrease the sound again and go to this point, slide it to the right to add a fade in effect. To the right, you can add a fade out effect. You can also use the sliders to increase, decrease the seconds. So this is our sound effect for the first clip right now. And here on the landing we want to add another sound effect of some landing noises of an airplane. And this is exactly how you can add some music or sound effects to your project. If you want to do a voiceover, you can just click on this voiceover button, left click on it, and now as you can see, you can just click record. Make sure that your input device is your microphone or your headset, whatever you are using, and the volume is around 100. Turn on the echo reduction if you have an echo in your room while recording. Now just click on record. You get a timer, and now you can just record what you want to talk, what you want to tell your audience. And the recorded voiceover is inserted directly into your timeline. And now you can just record. Okay, so this was an example for a voiceover. You can also add some captions for this voiceover. So click on your voiceover and go on the top to captions. Now you can select auto caption, which is sadly a pro feature right now. It was for free a few months ago, but right now it's a pro feature. So if you are using Pro, this feature is perfect for creating short form content and adding simple but very useful captions to your video without editing anything manually. So the program recognized automatically where someone is, and now you can just record what you want to talk, what you want to tell your audience. These captions are added automatically. Now we want to use another template for those captions, which is easy by just clicking on templates, and now you have the selection different styles. Every style you can change the color, you can do whatever you want. And now we, for example, want to use this one, a single word for one line. And now you can just record what you. And on basic tab you can change the color to, for example, the trending yellow caption style. I will add quickly the rest of the video with the imported video files, and I will be back in 10 seconds. So I added these last clips as well. Here's the video for the moment. we want to add another transition, pull out transition for this clip. So we are here zoomed in to the boat and now we want to zoom out. One more point is the color correction in CapCut. So we want to focus on this clip right now. As in CapCut normal, you have different options to do the color correction for your clip. So one point is you can use presets in the filter option. For example, this filter, just add it on your video and the filter is applied already. Here you can see the filter is applied and the saturation is a little bit higher. What you can do as well is you can go on adjustment and go down here onto color correction. This section would probably take a whole hour video to explain everything, so we want to just focus on a few things. On the top here you can choose between a warm temperature or a cold temperature. You can use the saturation slider to higher or lower the saturation effect. You can also go to auto adjust and use this auto adjust feature by just sliding and the color correction is made for you. Now at the end of this video I want to give you 5 more tips how to edit way faster in CapCut. So the first tip is to change your player preview to best performance. Furthermore, you want to go to menu, go to settings and to performance. Down here you have proxy to have a way smoother editor player without losing video quality. First one, the split shortcut by just pressing R to split 2 clips into sections. Second one is to switch between A and B mode, so between the selection mode and the splitting razor tool. The next one is the controlled scroll to zoom in, zoom out in the player or even in the video timeline. But the 2 most useful shortcuts for me are those 2, delete left and delete right. In the next short clip I will show you shortly how fast you can delete, cut out some unwanted parts by using those 2 shortcuts. Here are many more options to play around with. You can just set up those buttons once and start editing with those shortcuts from the beginning. As you saw in the short clip, I used another function that is very useful in CapCut. As you can see, you have the picture in your timeline and down here the audio waves. To change the style of your timeline, you can go on each timeline and click on the 3 dots to go to the track settings. Here you can choose between short to let picture and audio waveform disappear, and you can go to the default setting and the more useful one to the tall setting if you have a specific timeline which you want to edit right now. You can also use the audio waveform size and select 60 to cut out, for example, those silences in the clip. You can also go to 100% to just focus on cutting out those parts, for example. The next tip is a little bit advanced. So if you have already worked a little bit with keyframes, you can go to your keyframes on the clip with the keyframes and go to show speed animation. Down here you can play around with the scale by just sliding up or down with those little dots. So for each keyframe you have 4 different settings: the rotation, the epsilon and the X, and also the scale. So you don't have to go up here to transform and set those keyframes manually. You can just use those dots and slide them around how you want. And now to the last tip. The last tip is the option to remove green screen in CapCut. So you have your green screen clip and want to remove the green parts. As you can see, I have this green background and the subscribe button for YouTube. To remove this green screen, go to video on the top right and now to remove background. Now you want to go down to chroma key and to the color picker. Click it and now you can just select your color. Click on the color and now you can see you have a transparent background already. One problem is you have those green outlines in the picture. To delete them as well, just go to intensity and increase until no green line is visible anymore. So I hope you learned a little bit in this video and tested out some things in CapCut already. Let me know if you created your first project for YouTube, for example, and I will check it out and like it and leave a comment